What's up, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with Tesla SPY in the overall market. We have some good news that came out for Tesla, but there's also bad news for the overall market that's causing it to pull back. So that's still offsetting this news. I'm going to break down what that news is and what you should be watching for on the share prices, but just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. Anyways, so as far as Tesla's going, as you guys can see, there's a downtrend as we're making lower highs. But Tesla's trying to ride this support right here where this trend line is. So we're trying to hold this at this 390 area. If we can't hold around 390, we could be looking for a dip closer to about 385. If that fails us, we're looking for 381, which is where this imbalance happens to be. Now, one thing you could call out is there's a possible inverse cup and handle like pattern if we do end up losing, this 385 area, and that could lead to a lot more downside. The market did end up coming down. So what I argued was that we have to wait and see what happens with the jobs numbers. I was hoping that we would hold this support right here. So you guys can see we have this support. So that's the main thesis. Can we get bought back up and hold this support? If not, we're going to be favoring bears, and once again, this much larger head and shoulders on SPY. If we start losing these supports here, especially closer to like 580, then that will lead to a lot more downside. But let's talk about the numbers and I'll talk about the data for Tesla and the new Model Y. So the first thing I want to say is today's Friday, January 10th. We got the unemployment rate at 4.1%, which is technically below expectations. Not too bad. But then non-farm payrolls were at 256,000. This is the main thing. This is well above expectations. And besides that, everything else was very close to expectations. Now, we also have some Michigan consumer sentiments data at 10 o'clock a.m. We'll see what that leads to 30 minutes after market open, but that's going to be a little bit more minor. And just know the main thing is going to be the non-farm payrolls. Unfortunately, they are, they're looking quite strong. The market's selling off a bit because I'm seeing that some people are anticipating that this could incentivize the Fed to cut less this year. So that's part of the logic. So as a result of that, with stronger job growth, we'll have to see how this is going to be associated with inflation. We'll see if there is another increase in inflation, and despite these numbers coming out, the market is slowing. Now, there was some good news for Tesla. In particular, there's news that Tesla has unveiled its Model Y crossover. This is the Model Y Juniper, but it's not available in the US or Europe. It's available in China. So this is what it looks like. This is a picture of it. It looks very, very nice, very sleek design. However, one thing that's worth mentioning is that, like I said before, it's only on the websites in China and other Asian Pacific markets, with deliveries expected to begin as soon as March. We saw significant design improvements that came out in 2020, and this is going to help increase their sales. The refreshes come after they saw like a lot of their other models get their refreshes, and in this case, I think this is going to be very, very awesome. So this is like the interior right over here. Looks very, very beautiful. Just wanted to show you guys that for 1 second, and then on top of this, it's going to be starting off at about $36,000 USD with rear wheel drive. At least in China, that's how much it's going to be costing, with a range of about 368 miles. Not bad. They also have a long range version with 446 miles of range and about $41,000 USD. So this is what it looks like. Very cool stuff. It's making a lot of announcements right now. I think it's very powerful, very, very cool. And I will talk more about the design features and such in a later video. But I think it's very awesome when Tesla's launching this. Unfortunately, the share price is still a little bit down despite that. It's still not causing it to bounce too hard. So we'll have to see if it holds support or not. There's also news that Mercedes Benz owners can start using the model chargers at least as soon as February. So that's going to be very, very cool. They're able to use all these superchargers and have access to the network very soon. So good news for them. Anyways, going back to our economic data, just know that job growth was stronger than expected in December, providing the Fed with a possible incentive to cut less. So that's why the market's a little bit down. And not even the data itself was able to help the markets, despite the fact that unemployment is down. It's still reacting more negatively. Another factor is yields are going up as a result of this, which is a little bit more negative for the markets for now, because this could be implying there could be higher inflation coming. And then, we just had Jimmy Carter's funeral yesterday. Rest in peace to him. Now the market's coming back. Besides that, there's obviously a lot of difficulties that are going on in Los Angeles. So I just wanted to say I wish the best for everyone that's there. But then I just want to say that at the same time, we have a Federal Reserve Governor Michelle Bowman, who said that the Fed's decision to cut rates last month was the final step. So they are saying that there might not be much or too many cuts for a good while because inflation might be coming up. So that's a little bit more negative for the markets. Besides that, guys, let's focus on the charts. I know I'm talking a lot about the news. So as far as Tesla and the overall market goes, I just want to say that we're on a downtrend technically. Tesla needs to try to hold this support at the very least in this 390 area. If we could hold this, we want to get back above 400 to bounce. If we can't do this, and this is forming an inverse cup and handle, if that's the case, we're going to be watching to see if we end up losing 387. If so, we're looking for a jump to 385 and 381. And this is looking a little bit more probable as we're making lower highs. So we could be dumping a lot lower, all the way down to 380. So I do see some weakness in Tesla, and this is favoring downside a bit more. On SPY, unfortunately, we need to get back above this trend line of support. There's that head and shoulders that's present. We'll see if we get bought back up or not. There's a 1.2 put to call ratio. But if we can't reclaim it, we're going to be looking at support around right over here around this 582.5 area. If that fails us, we're looking for 580, then 577. So watch those levels just to be safe. If we get back above this trend line at 585 and then 588. 588 is going to bring us back up. If we can't reclaim 588, we're going to be favoring low levels such as 582 and 580. So I do think we look a little bit more bearish after this data release. So be prepared for some downside. For ES, we look a little bit more bearish. There's a head and shoulders like pattern. Got to reclaim 59.55. Otherwise, this is going to be dipping to about 58.80 or below. So there's weakness on this. Nvda needs to get back above 138. Otherwise, you favor a move to 135, then eventually back down to 133. So just keep that in mind. For Bitcoin, Bitcoin has a nice potential crossover on the PPO. If we break 95,000, we're looking for 96,080. And if we can't break past that, we're looking for a dip closer to about 92,000. So just be careful. For NQ, this is a little bit weaker. We're going to be looking at support at 21,000 flat and might be testing that. We have to bounce off that. Otherwise, this is forming like a bearish wedge. Not going to lead to more downside to the 20,000 mark. For the QQQ, we got to hold 512. If not, we're looking for 507 to be retested or below. So watch to see if that holds. Otherwise, we could be looking for more downside. For Aapl, we got to hold 240. Otherwise, 238 is coming. So be careful as we're on a downtrend. Please watch those levels very closely. But the Russell, we're technically on a bit of a downtrend. We have to see if we can hold above our support. We have the support to watch for at 217. If not, 215 is going to be coming. For Coin has the support right here to fill this gap all the way down to 248. So I see some weakness. Amazon needs to hold 220. Otherwise, 218 is next. Meta is on a bit of a downtrend. We got to hold 600. Otherwise, we could be dipping closer to about 592. And then unfortunately for Microsoft, we're below our 20 EMA, which could drag us down to 418. And then Google's also in a bit of a downtrend. We got to hold 193. Otherwise, we could be dipping towards 191. So watch those levels very closely. Unfortunately for Tesla, we're on a bit of a downtrend, but like I said before, we're going to be watching to see if the support could hold. Can we hold near this trend line? If not, we could be dipping closer to about the lower 380s. So watch those levels closely. If 380 fails us, I'm looking for 377 and eventually back down to about 368. We'll see if Tesla could hold support. There was good news that came out about the Model Y Juniper, but unfortunately, the market's acting more negatively, which is dragging Tesla down. All right. Thank you for listening. Have a good day, guys. I'll see you guys in a couple of hours for another update. Until then, thanks again for listening and peace out.